Hey guys, SpiderFan2003 here. I have decided to try out a new review style. Instead of reviewing one episode at a time, I'm going to be reviewing all the episodes at once in a way. Basically, it's like 5 episodes per video. If you like this format, tell me in the comments below. If you don't, then I'm very sorry for making this video. Anyway, let's get to the reviews, as I hope to review every episode of the entire show in this format. The plot to this episode is pretty simple. Thomas messes with Gordon, and Gordon decides to play a trick on him. And for the first episode, it does a good job introducing our title characters of Thomas and Gordon. We get to learn both characters' personalities in a fun, really well done story. So, as the first episode, I would say yes, this is definitely one you should watch. Especially, it's the first episode. It does a good job conveying what it is, and it was definitely, in my opinion, the best choice to pick for the first episode of the TV show. Let's see if Britt and David can keep this theme going. Honestly, I don't know about this episode. Simple plot is Edward wants to be let out of the sheds and pull coaches, and then he does. And then halfway through the episode, Gordon gets super defensive about his role as an engine on Sodor and decides to pick on Edward. But then he gets stuck up a hill, Edward pushes him up, and then bingo bongo, everything is all good. Now, if I'm gonna be honest with you, this episode, I don't hate it, but it's a big step down from the last one. I don't know, I feel like this one's kind of boring and not too much happens in it. It's not like I hate the episode. I think it was a nice way to introduce Edward, but I just don't think the stories were that interesting overall, but I still think it's an alright episode, though. Plot's pretty simple. Henry doesn't want to get wet, so he stays in a tunnel. No one likes him staying at a tunnel, so they all complain and he's trapped there forever. Basic story, but it gets its message down pretty well. Don't be a petty jerk. That's basically the message of this episode. And I really like that. I also like how this is our first introduction to the Fat Controller, who is, a pretty cruel but generous controller, though also a pretty lazy one too. I would definitely say that this episode's status as a classic is definitely earned, and I'd definitely say that, yeah, Edward and Gordon was a little bit of a weak point, but this one definitely proves a little more of what the series is truly capable of. Though at the same time, I don't know if I really call this one of my favorite episodes ever. Ooh, another banger. This episode revolves around breaking a valve and Edward trying to pull Gordon's Express with little success. After seeing Henry in the tunnel, Gordon decides to ask, hey, can he do it? To help Edward, and Henry agrees. This is a great redemption arc for Henry overall, and really does make us feel for this character that he truly has learned from his mistake. And we even see Gordon in a bit more of a vulnerable spot than we did the first 2 episodes. Along with that, Edward at his weakest, but it isn't too bad here as it is used in importance for Henry's story. So overall, this is a really well done episode. In my opinion, probably my favorite out of these 5. Great work, Britt and David, and Wilbert Audrey too, because, he made the story. But yeah, I don't have much else to say on this one, so let's move on to the next episode, and the last one. And we end off with the weakest episode of the lot. Story's pretty simple. Thomas wants to pull a train. The other engines don't think he can. But after Henry gets a little bit of an illness, he's the only engine available to do so. He gets all ready and set to go. But then, before you know it, he leaves without getting coupled up. And he doesn't realize this until the end that he messed up and gets made fun of by the others. This one's not all that great. You see, my big problem with this one is that, well, Thomas is kind of an idiot in this one. I don't really see how he could have missed this. He's pulled coaches before, as a shunter, so he obviously knows how it feels to pull something. So it's odd that he doesn't feel it. And yes, you could apply this to real life and be like, but a driver will leave all the time. Yes, but Thomas being a living thing obviously means that there has to be a few differences, And if Thomas really can't feel anything, then it's gonna kind of be odd for future events when the characters can start feeling how heavy and light things are. Actually, even earlier things, engines do feel stuff, so you can't argue they don't know how to feel. But in general, this one's kind of confusing for that issue. And honestly, it's not all that exciting. It feels like a bigger episode than it's actually supposed to be. It's alright though, I wouldn't complain. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this new review style. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.